Can I ask you, how does the department ensure people with disabilities in rural counties like County Laois have equal primary care access? That's the first question.
If you look at, say, the programmatic approach that we're introducing, you may have missed some of it earlier. So we're targeting the removal of 60,000 people from the waiting list waiting over 52 weeks to bring it back down to 39 weeks. So that's targeted equitably across the country. And then in terms of, so that's a short, sharp intervention over the course of this year to bring our waiting list right down. Then the second phase of that, which is critical, is the sustain and maintain part of that. So that is putting in permanent posts equitably across the country in terms of where the needs are, and then the regional executive office will have the opportunity in terms of deploying those in terms of where the most need is in relation to that. But that's 200 additional posts going in this year across the country. So
can I just ask you on that question then?
Yeah.
You know, is it the size of the waiting list per county that will judge what time the delivery will happen in a county like County Laois?
It'll be, I'd say, a mix of both population size and then the waiting list as well, in terms of the individual needs. So we can get a note in terms of where those are being deployed, but across the 200 posts, they'll be deployed across 6 regions, and we do have a breakdown of where they'll go. Right,
thanks. And the second question I'd like to ask is, which disability services policies are fully implemented, and where are the main gaps or delays?
So in terms of disability policy, I suppose the most recent one, I suppose, and the one that's very active and live is the new National Disability Strategy. So that's new, I suppose, in terms of rolling out now, and from the Department of Health and the HSE in terms of health services. Pillar 4 of that strategy has a significant body of work and implementation, I suppose, which is starting now. And I think probably one of the flagship implementations is a programmatic approach to the primary care therapies waiting list. And we've spoken about that in terms of some of the initial successes of that already, in terms of 14,000 coming off the waiting list over the last number of months in support of that. So that's going to be our focus and concentration over the course of this year and into next year.
Are you happy enough, be involved in this, that this will reduce the waiting times for people that I and everybody else here are being inundated day in, day out?
Absolutely. I mean that is the absolute target. I mean, we spent, we've put a programmatic approach around it. It's a joint approach between ourselves and the HSE, but a lot of effort into modelling how we can do this and coming forward with realistic targets about what is achievable. So, like, there was discussion earlier on in terms of 39 weeks. Would we like to be better? Absolutely, but we have to be honest and realistic about what is achievable, and we've set a target we believe is achievable, and we believe we will get those 60,000 off the list this year, and then put in place the sustain and maintain programme then, which will keep them at that.
And my final question, if you don't mind, is how are the service quality and outcomes for people with disabilities measured and enforced?
In terms of all of the services we have, and if we're talking about therapy services, but all of the services, the standards that are set, and what you're doing is you're at a clinical level and at a management level, you're monitoring those standards. You have people like you have regulatory systems like HICWA and so on that contribute to that, and mental health, you have the Commission on Mental Health. But basically, it's from a professional point of view, their professional standards are set, and that's part of what you do. The likes of the HSE, from a management point of view, our whole performance and oversight process is about that, about maintaining and managing.
Can I just say to you, like, everybody that comes into me, and it's the same with everybody else, like, I can get nobody to praise the situation that we're in at the moment. It's all like, people describe to me, it's like pushing water up a hill. I just want to say that, so hopefully, like, with what you've told us here today, that we'll be able to come back here in 6 months or whenever you convene a meeting like this, and I want to congratulate you for doing it.
I might just ask Geraldine to comment on the waiting list side of that.
I think what's really important is why we talk about 39 weeks as an overall target. We're very much looking at it at a network and an IHA level, and we know there's some areas that require a lot more input to get to the 39 weeks, and obviously I know some of your areas would be in that space.
And you'll be putting extra resources in there, will you? Will you put extra resources in there?
And that is very much the programmatic approach we're taking. It's not one solution fits all, and there are different challenges in locations. Some just can't attract the right profile of staff to take up roles there. Others, it's that the needs of the population are different because it's all population based. So we are very much tailoring the response to the people waiting and the requirements they have.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Colin.